Button.
Okay, so it being 5:30, we call to order the meeting of the Eastham Board of Water Commissioners, and letting you know that this meeting will be video recorded and broadcast live over local access channel 8 and on the town website and on YouTube.
YouTube. How about YouTube?
Yeah.
So we're gonna do water commissioners first. We have public information. Did we? Anyone here for public
Yeah,
comment?
so we have some public comment, right?
For water commissioners.
Okay. Well, don't we?
Well, we'll wait till
Water-
we'll do the select board
Yeah, wait for
agenda
that.
second.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. So
right.
no public comment on something not on the agenda for water commissioners? No, okay. So we can go to the final water contract.
Woohoo.
Wow.
We have the whole back row there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Please.
yeah, grab a chair.
John, do you want to join the table? I see you hiding.
Dorothy, you should have brought your son for the drum roll. Oh, for the, okay.
And then make sure the little green light is on both of those. And if you are talking, if you could direct it towards you.
All right. Good evening.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah,
What's
good to
Hey,
see everyone.
stranger.
Yeah, this is final water contract.
amazing?
10 years. Pretty wild. And then before that, what was it? I think 2008, we drilled the first well to see if we could even,
Yep.
this was viable. So, yeah, it's a testament to a lot of work. So it's exciting to sit before you and kind of give you an update on the final water contract. So the final contract, contract 23, we're contemplating bringing the final water main from Cable Road from Nauset High School, where the water main currently resides, to the end of Cable Road to the beach parking lot area. In addition to that length of Cable Road, which is roughly 3,800 feet, we'll bring 1,100 feet of water main down the new Nauset Light Beach Road to roughly the intersection with Cummings Drive there. Or on the map is actually Nauset Light Beach Road, but turns into Cummings Drive there. This kind of pared down part of the water contract was from contract 23 that originally incorporated Doan Road on the south, Ocean View Drive on the east, and Tomahawk Trail off of Doan Road. Due to some cultural sensitivity that the park had and some survey hurdles that needed to get over, we decided that it was in the best interest to forego the Tomahawk Trail and the Doan Road for the cultural sensitivity components, and also Ocean View Drive. There's just frankly not a lot of bang for the buck there. There are benefits to a looped system. So the fact that we weren't going to have that loop anymore kind of makes you wonder why you're going to put that long stretch of pipe in, especially with the shoreline, creeping in at, I know they say 3 to 5 feet a year, but we all know that it can happen much quicker with any given storm. So we eliminated Ocean View Drive, Doan Road, and Tomahawk Trail from contract 23, leaving us with just that small stretch there. This not only will provide water service to roughly 20 parcels. There's the orange parcel shaded there. In addition to those, if you count those up, there are 18, but there are 2 more. The beach area themselves, the National Seashore, their bathhouse there, newly constructed in the past few years, and also Nauset Light itself, which is owned by the park, but they cede, I think, operational rights to I forget the foundation, but it's governed by them. So they'll also have access to the water system. In addition to that, we'll put hydrants roughly every 500 feet and provide fire protection to the area down Cable Road. In addition, having 1 hydrant out by the intersection that could be utilized by the fire department if they need to be up Nauset Light Beach Road. So that amount of work right now, we have a meeting we are hoping to have a meeting with the national park. If we can get this thing back open again. We had a great meeting with them in September and really pushed the conversation along, and then shortly thereafter they closed down. So as soon as we get back up and running, we anticipate having a meeting, going out there, walking the road, We did have, there's some utilities on the side of the road there, so we're trying to figure out how we can keep it off the road versus keep it in the road where we have to go off, where we have to stay in. So a few minor kind of engineering, design components that go in there once we do our site walk with the park. But right now we're looking at rounding out contract 23. Our estimate right now is $1.25 million to complete that work. And again, once we walk with the park and kind of fine tune all the design criteria, we'll have a much kind of clearer number, but that's our estimate right now. So yeah, and if that all happens, assuming that all the meetings with the park go well, we get our right-of-way permit and our special use permit from the park. Our ideal situation would see that work happening this winter, hopefully by February. So again, there's a lot of ducks that have to get in a row for all that to happen, but that's our hope. So that's where we stand on the final contract. And I guess I can take any questions if you have them on, if anybody has them right now.
Yeah, I have one. Thank you. Nice
Yeah.
to see you all. It's been a while. The multi-use path that
Oh yeah, the
park-
multimodal trail.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So the multimodal trail, this was actually, I'm glad you reminded me. So that was a big part of the National Park Service. They intend on putting a multimodal trail from the high school down to the Nauset Light Beach parking lot. And since they're going to be doing a lot of that engineering and work there, this actually gave us an opportunity to kind of work in concert with them and try to get our, get on the same page, which I know sometimes when you're working between agencies, it doesn't always happen, but this is something that they brought up to us. We're hoping to get their plan set for the multimodal trail and incorporate that into our design so that all of our stubs and water appurtenances are out of their way and theirs are out of our way. So
Perfect. Great.
and exciting to think that would be put in too, because
Yeah.
that's needed. So
Yeah, I think it's going to go all the way to Nauset Road,
I think that was,
not just the high school. It's
yeah, I think it was
go
gonna,
past.
yeah, I think
Right.
they had something designed there. So
And then maybe we'll connect it with some bike path on Nauset someday. Who knows?
yeah.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, good. I've just, if you can explain the shared curb stop with the couple of how's that work? Where are the water meters, and how does someone in house A get a bill and house B gets a bill differently coming from the same curb stop?
Right. So that's a good question. So if you see what Jerry's referring to is on the plans, you'll see some of these parcels are connected by little orange triangles or lines. So on those situations, the amount of permitting that goes into getting across national park land is quite a heavy lift. And the town itself in our project isn't going to be responsible for private homeowners getting it across the national park land to their area. But to put multiple curb stops, say there's, if you look at number 700, 720, or 730R, if we were to put an individual curb stop, when they dig a trench, they'd each have to go with their own line by like a 1-inch, let's assume like a 1-inch water line. If we put one larger size, like a 2-inch water line, those two people could now communicate with one another and either try to get some efficiencies out of getting one permit to bring that one line up, and then they can break off and put meter pits in, so they can still be individually metered. But it's instead of bringing, a bunch of strands of spaghetti up the road, they can bring one trunk line and then break off of them, and they can either have a meter pit at their property line or possibly a meter in their basement, if that's feasible.
Okay, no, thank you. I was just curious on that. One other question: there are 3 hydrants along Cable Road in an area where there is nothing there. I'm just curious as to the need for that, or is that looking at potential future, or what?
No, it's not looking for the future, towards the future, because I really don't anticipate any development happening out there.
Right.
That's just a standard spacing for fire protection and hydrants, and that is something, we could look at that, but DEP, yeah. So the DEP requires every 500 feet, correct? Yeah.
And
Okay,
that insurance certification that we get is also.
that's important. It was the question
Yeah.
was just why, just thinking, if there's any way to save anything, but we want to keep that insurance.
All right. Good questions. Any other questions on the status of contract 23?
Do you need anything from us? Do we need to vote
Yes.
or are we there yet?
You can either vote it separate.
Well, are the road repavings part of the contract 23? Yeah, what we discussed?
Okay, yeah, no, let's the road repavings first. Yeah, absolutely.
So going to the next item that's in your packet, this is the map that shows the 10 remaining roads. So just a little history on our water project. So again, dating back to 2015, when we started this project, it was made abundantly clear that this was a water project and not a road project. And we designed it as such in an effort to really preserve the budget, not knowing where bids would come in at, not knowing, of the roughly $130 million appropriation, we didn't want to get to the end of the project and find that we had, overstepped. So in phase 1 of the project, that would be contracts 1 through 8, which covered the mandatory area over by the landfill, the main trunk lines down Route 6, and then the main back roads, Herringbrook, Massasoit, and Bridge Road, with a few kind of, I guess you call them connector roads or horizontal roads, east-west roads that you'll see on this map. Those were all part of phase 1. So when we did phase 1, our paving specification was essentially put the pipe in all week, and on Friday, pave your trench, and that was that. And we did that, and our budget was looking good, and we actually found that by the time we got to phase 2 of construction, with the bid pricing that we were getting and the trajectory of the project, we thought that it was feasible to incorporate kind of an additional degree of pavement kind of restoration, which ultimately resulted in us installing, after trench paving, a 1.5-inch full width overlay over these roads, which is what we did through the duration of phase 2 of construction, which saw a majority of the west side of town, west of Route 6, some small portions up by Nauset Road on the northeast corner there. So that's what you see throughout town, is this full width overlay paving. During phase 2 of construction, we were able to go back and pick off some full width paving on some of the more traveled roads. Those include Massasoit, Bridge, and Herringbrook. That's why you don't see those on the list here. We were also able to go back into the mandatory area and pave those roads. This is, off Schoolhouse Road, Nauset Road, south of Brackett. Leaving these kind of 10, I'd call them thoroughfares, known roads in town, well-trodden, left to do. So what we did was we looked at these roads, and we would anticipate doing the same level of treatment that we did on the phase 2 roads on this road, which would be an 1.5-inch overlay, edge to edge. We'd incorporate some leveling. A leveling course is essentially you can kind of drag level with asphalt to level out some of the areas. I want to make it clear, this is not like a full depth reclamation or a mill and overlay, which is a more kind of aggressive road treatment for, bringing it up to standards. But what we did find is a lot of these roads are not very thick to begin with. There was a portion on Bridge Road to Herringbrook that we did that approach, and we found that when we were milling it, we were actually kind of blowing through some of the asphalt, and you're getting down to dirt. So you have to kind of like be very careful when you take an old road that may not have gotten, a very thick layer, and start to rip into it, because once you start, it's, you have to deal with what you find. So if you end up blowing through the road, now you have to go back, treat it, binder and whatnot. So, so what we would propose here would be doing 1.5-inch overlay on these roads throughout town, and that would be, let's see here, if we were to go through there, including our, the overlay, the leveling course, all the pavement markings, loam and seed, gate box adjustment, catch basin adjustment. Our estimate right now is currently $1.876 million, or $1.9 million. And we'd be looking to do that ideally in the spring or fall of next year. So, pavement season, non-summer, but That would be the goal. And that would ultimately result in every road that we've been on that was a paved road getting a full width overlay. There is one other road that you may see on this map that's in blue. That's Thoreau Drive. We did go back and paved all the private roads of phase 1 in that mandatory area. Thoreau Drive was kind of it was hanging out there because they had some utility issues with Eversource. So we've kind of done our best to hold back with the hopes that Eversource or whatever needs to happen there can happen, because it's just, you tend to not want to put the mix down before somebody digs it up again. So, so that's that one that's in blue, but all the others are town-owned roads that, if you've been down them, I'm sure you have, you can see that they're kind of the last ones that have these remnants of the water project staring us in the face. So, yeah, and that's that in a nutshell. Happy to take any questions and speak to it more.
I guess I just have one for Rich. How does this, all these numbers of these two things, the water, setting up the mains and the paving, how does that fit within the authorized expense that the town meeting approved?
I didn't add it up recently, but I think Jackie and it's probably about around 5 million with everything.
So yeah, so our appropriation when we started was roughly 130 million. We still have a few contracts open, so it's a moving number, but we had, we're at that roughly 10 million left in appropriation money. The water main going out on Cable Road, we have SRF funding for that contract. The paving work, I don't anticipate that to be SRF reimbursable, but it does fall within the appropriation that the town set forth in 2015 or whenever that number was generated.
Yeah, so we have the sufficient appropriation. The non-SRF part of it's new, so that's something we'd be a little more costly than doing it through SRF. But
Yeah, so we did contemplate, if you want for road work, pavement markings, these things are more like commodities that towns come up against all the time. You can go through a county bid where you kind of put together the scope and then you put it out vis-a-vis a county bid, which would, sometimes be utilized through a Chapter 90 fund. But obviously that's kind of the town's prerogative of how we do that. But we could utilize the county bid process to try to kind of streamline some of the bid process.
I wasn't talking about the bids, just the cost of the debt. So the roads would be probably an order of magnitude of 4.5% to borrow that money on the market versus 2% through SRF. So
All right. Just need to know that we're not going to blow the top off of the appropriation.
No worries, Jerry.
All right.
So really, there's still 5 million left in that, roughly. So
Yeah, I think we should probably sift through this once we kind of put this get the walkthrough with the national park, close out the last kind of contracts we have. We have the tank contract, which is still open on District H. We have the District H treatment building, which is still an open contract right now. So I anticipate those getting closed out by the spring of 26. So once those, once our numbers start coming in, when we we'll hopefully have a nice clean number.
Yeah, cool.
Then we'll know what we're working with.
All right.
Any other questions or comments?
All right.
Now, would you like us to vote?
Yes.
What are we going to vote on?
Approving the
Yeah, you
Contract
should-
23.
Both?
Number 3,
You're
23.
voting
Both?
to proceed with the contract. Are we still calling it contract?
23.
23, which will be this main out to Nauset Light and then the repaving.
Yes.
I'll make
Okay.
a motion to recommend approval of contract 23 as presented.
Second.
All right, Jerry,
Yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Bob,
Yes.
and I vote aye.
Okay.
Yay.
Do we
Thank
need
you.
one? Do we need one on the roads, or is that all?
That
in
was-
part
that's part of the
23?
same-
It's included.
Oh,
in
it
the
is? Great.
contract. Yeah.
I'm good.
All right.
And
Well,
then-
thank you. And we look forward to hopefully getting back out there and kind of finishing this thing off.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yes.
It's been a long road, no pun intended.
I was young when we first
100
voted it.
Yeah.
15 miles or something. We have 117 miles of road or something like that, or
120.
120. Oh,
Funny.
it's 3 miles off. Sorry.
All right.
Pretty wild.
Awesome.
Are you?
Thank you all.
Okay,
with us
thank
for
you.
The next
Oh,
discussion
sorry.
yes. For
Yeah,
we have
everybody's huddling together.
rate discussion and system development fee.
So we're gonna move on. Can you,
Yeah.
everybody hear me? Okay, we're gonna move on to operating now from
Oh,
project.
Okay.
So we are requesting that the select board look at an increase in water usage rates. The water rates need to sufficiently cover our water enterprise fund. We are suggesting a 2% increase in the water rates going into effect in the May 2026 quarterly bill. This would actually put us at about 2 years from our last increase. Our last increase was a pretty large increase. This increase is 2%, which I think if we, do 2%, it's going to be less of a feel to the people than before. And then we are proposing a water meter fee increase. So our water meter fee has been $163 since 2016. We now have new water meters that we paid $330 for each one of them. So we are proposing that we increase that basic fee to $406.43 for a water meter. We also are proposing that we increase the water meter fee to $1,335, and that's actually what we pay for that. We did want to try to capture in that other fee some of the reading equipment that we use that now goes right to my computer. It's ultrasonic, which reduces the amount that the water operators have to drive around. It also has allowed us to be able to pick up leaks for people. It alerts me right away if somebody has a burst in there. And it also alerts if water meter is frozen too. We are also proposing a water connection fee. This is instituting a one-time water connection fee for new water connections. I'm proposing that we wait until January 1st, 2027 to institute this fee, which would give us about a year to get people connected before this water connection fee goes into effect. We let everybody know now, do get connected now. Hopefully it'll get some people on board. And this fee, we are suggesting a minimum of $1,000. And this would help us with capital for the water system.
Right.
And I can just add in an way of context. 2 years ago, when we did the big rate adjustment, that was based on an internal water rate study that we had done. And it was intended to cover the cost of operations. But unfortunately, what happened within a year after of setting that is the new operations contract went out to bid and came in much more expensive than what it had been. And so immediately that 10% or so increase was not sufficient. So currently we are short on our annual water rate to support the water department budget. We do have some pretty good retained earnings that's going to get us through the next several years. So a modest increase to keep the rates increasing instead of every several years having big increases seems more doable. But the big part of this, to tie into what you were saying about the connection fee, is the rates would be sufficient. Right now, we're about 51, 52% of those that can connect in town are connected. If everybody else had been connected, we would have sufficient water rates to pay for the operating costs without increases. And so we're trying to develop a program that encourages, incentivizes people to connect in this upcoming year. If we can get it from 52 to say 60% to 65%, as we increase the number of people connected, we'll have more revenue coming into the system so that we don't need to keep going up on rates, every other year.
I have a question about the connection fee. Is that typical 1,000? That seems low.
So I researched other towns. It's hard to look at other towns because a lot of water departments do their own connections. So when you look at it, they don't have a fee, they have a quote because they perform the connection. So like, for example, Harwich has a $50 application fee, but then there's a quote, they do it themselves. So then it's $3,000 or $4,000 to do the connection. So I really couldn't find anybody that had a connection fee.
I thought Wellfleet did connection fees.
They had one in the beginning
Oh, right.
$10,000.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing about it. Yeah, that's why.
to 6,500 at one point, and then they came down after that also.
Yeah, okay. Because you still have to pay for the work from the street to your
Mhm.
house. So on top of that,
Which is right now, I'd say in the range from $3,000 to $6,000.
Yeah,
so 1,000 off would be nice to do it before the.
yeah. Well, I think looking at the connection fee that Kim was talking about for 1,000, I viewed it as, people who've already connected, the 51%, they're paying their water fees. And part of that is trying to, and I'll ask Rich to correct me in here. Part of it was to set aside, for capital to fix, repair. Where it's part of it is 10 years old. We're going to have repairs. We're going to have to paint the water tower, et cetera. So I view that $1,000 as almost like paying back the users who are already hooked up, or not paying back, but putting into the fund some money that the users who are already hooked up have been putting in for capital. Am I correct on that, Rich?
Right, that was part of the rate adjustment that happened a couple years ago, contemplated some sufficient resources for capital maintenance and repairs. And so to your point, Jerry, the theory goes, if you decide you don't want to hook up, we built the system for the whole town and 48% of the town hasn't connected, but maybe you will in 5 years. Well, you got in 5 years of a kind of a free ride because you're not paying into the system. So it's one thing to pay for the annual operating costs, but then you've got the 52% of the people also paying for the capital, and
Right.
the people that aren't connected are foregoing that for whether it's the next 5 years or the next 10 years. So
Right.
if you want to wait, you can wait, but we'll get this is kind of a first it's to incentivize you to connect, then B it's getting the capital money from the people that have been foregoing it for many years.
Right.
Do we have more information on some of the properties that haven't connected? Because
Why or?
well, yeah, I mean, I know people where the cost is absolutely an issue, and that's why they haven't connected. And like, if you don't have $5,000, you don't have $5,000, and I don't want to end up in a punitive situation of people who didn't connect because they couldn't afford it, and now it costs more also because they can't afford it, and just like the being poor costs more. But I'm also wondering how many properties are possibly just seasonal, or we have a range of homeowners in town, and when it's almost half of the town, you're going to have a range in
Yeah,
what
and
the
they
situation
wait
is.
till they need it. If their well is working and everything's fine and it's not costing significant dollars, once their well pump dies, then they have a decision to make. Or
Well, right now we also have a water connection betterment fund. So if there's does require repayment, but it's decided to your tax bill over, I think, up to 20 years. So it's a relatively low impact and it's negligible interest. So makes it affordable. And this would also be part of it, is really targeting those people that haven't connected in this upcoming year before this fee were to go into effect, to try to encourage and do some marketing associated with it to get people to connect. And if we need to discuss that between now and this town meeting, maybe in addition to the betterment fund, we can come up with any other programs that would help to incentivize or support people that can't
but
afford
we
it.
have had that betterment fund since maybe 2 years after, I want to say
So
2019.
Does
maybe.
the betterment fund cover
Ev-
the fee and the connection, or the work
Everything.
that you pay a contractor to get it to your house?
Both.
All of
Both.
them.
Right now, we don't have the fee, so the
There's no-
There's no fee.
betterment
No
has
connection
been
fee.
paying the contractor.
Right.
So we pay the contractor, and then
Okay.
they pay it back on their tax bill.
Rich, for this, would you be able, because you give us nice graphs on how much it might cost somebody if we could get what over the 20 years, what that impact on someone's tax bill will be?
Well, I can, but easy math would say let's go with the average of 5,000 divided by 20. So, um, $250 a year
For 20 years.
plus a little bit of interest.
Or
So
you can pay it off sooner if you want to, but.
and again, we could also between now and town meeting try to come up with another program to subsidize connection costs for people that have a particular need. We can, it's something we could look at too.
And just so you know, we're not asking you to vote on this tonight. We're asking you to consider it. It will come up again at the public fee hearing, probably in December.
Right. I have a question for Kim. January 2027. I'm thinking about the parcels that are on contract 23. If my memory is right, we gave individuals a year to hook up in order to get a free water meter, I think was what the incentive was. Will January 2027 give those parcels a year before they're hit with before the connection fee applies? Or maybe if it wouldn't be, maybe for those parcels we give them it applies 2027 or 1 year after you're able to get hooked up, whichever comes later.
Yes.
It does now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
And they'll still have free meter,
yeah.
the
For
new
1
ones in 23, contract 23.
Yeah.
That's the other part, instead of a direct subsidy, we could also have, sales, so to speak, and not charge for meters if you have a qualifying need and you want to do a connection. So just find ways to bring the cost of hooking up down a little bit.
Yeah, and I have one other on the meters, the new more expensive meters that talk to you, Kim, and actually give a homeowner somebody else looking to see if there's a leak or something. But if someone is already hooked up, they have I'll call it a dumb meter at this point, but the dumb meter. And are we going to require at some point that they put in these smart meters and therefore have an additional charge? Or is it I keep the dumb meter until it breaks, and then when I have to replace it, I have to put in the smart meter?
So currently, if we do like a seasonal turn on or turn off or go somewhere, something's wrong with their meter, we're changing them at no cost. We have to change all of those meters for no cost, those dumb meters. So that's something we have to look into also, whether we go out to contract to do that or whether we do that in-house. We can have DPW, do 4 houses or something and change those meters at no cost.
And that was part of our meter contract. We worked that into it.
All
And
right,
they're
thanks.
not dumb. They were actually state of the art at the
No,
time.
I
Jerry.
know.
It's
It was
the
just
technology
what? Yeah,
has
technology.
changed.
Listen, I know.
They're not as smart.
Right. I used to be smart. Now I'm dumb with technology.
These
I know
meters
how that
are
works.
just better communitators.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
And
No,
they are our cash
Yeah.
register, so we will replace them as they.
Yeah. Right. I use that term just to differentiate. I should
I know, I
have
just
used
felt
old
like I
and new.
needed to defend them.
Yeah,
for a
you
minute.
can defend them. It works fine, by the way. Anyone who has them, it works fine. I've got an old one. Okay.
Not for long, Jerry.
Not for long. Okay, not for long.
One other question then about the meter fee increase. You said you replace them now for free.
Mhm.
So what,
So
But
this would be for new connections, because those people paid for their meter. They paid $163
They paid a one-time.
if they
fee.
waited a year, if they were over a year?
if they were over a year.
I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Thanks for explaining that, Kim. I wasn't clear on it, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
We'll hear more about this at a future meeting. We have other business or correspondence? For the water commissioners? So we will
You
have,
need a motion to adjourn the water commissioners?
Yes.
yeah.
I move we adjourn the meeting of the Eastham Water Commissioners.
Second.
All right, Jerry,
Yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Bob,
Yes.
and Chair votes aye. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right, so we
Convene.
are I'm going to call to order the regular meeting of the select board at 6:06 with a quorum being present, and this meeting is still being recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and on the town website and on YouTube. So first we are going to do public access select board information, and Bob, I'm gonna have you go first.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a minute to thank Sean and Megan Donnelly, the owners of Sam's Deli. They donated a luncheon sandwich platters for us for the FE team, the FE committee, where we had a luncheon on the 29th in the library, and I think there were about 60 people there. People seemed to really enjoy it, got a lot of accolades, and we weren't expecting Sam's Deli to donate this. So we just really need to give them some kudos, and they were terrific. They were wonderful. The quality of the food was good, and everybody appreciated it. So thank you to Sean and Megan.
Thank you.
I was going to point out that we have Veterans Day coming up on the Tuesday, the 11th. And I didn't know if any of you all were able to attend.
I
We had
may
an-
not, no, I
We
don't
have
think
an
I'm
email
available.
about it.
That would be.
I'll be there.
Tuesday.
It's at 10 o'clock. Am I
Next
correct?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, on the
I
11th.
Don't know
I'll
if we
be
have
there.
the time yet. Hold on.
I thought
think
the
so. I
thing
got
that
an
Lou
email
sent me
from
said
Lou.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Lou said
Okay.
10. Yeah.
And then I saw something posted on Facebook today, I think, too.
I'll be there.
Okay, wonderful. And then I also wanted to point out that the town of Provincetown has on their website a page for Hurricane Melissa resources. So we have a lot of Jamaican people in our community, and Jamaica was hit by a really bad hurricane. And so if you're looking for ways to support Jamaica and our residents, it's on the front page of town Provincetown's website. And then also the Brick House has some food collection going on. It's also listed under there. There's a GoFundMe as well. So just wanted to highlight those in case anyone was looking for those resources. And now at 6:09, we have Beverly, Hobbs and COA updates, unless anyone has public comment on something not on the agenda.
Oh.
Dave Hobbs. Your wife gave a little shake.
Hi, Dave Hobbs, 190 Sparrow Hawk Lane. I'm just curious. I was reading the Provincetown Journal, and Wellfleet is, I believe, trying to institute a thing where they're stopping commercial fertilizing. And since we're going on a path to spend $180 million to prevent phosphates and so forth getting in the pond and so forth, I was wondering if you've contemplated doing the same kind of thing and restricting the use of those.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. I mean, and it's special, they're asking for special legislation, so they're not individually going to get it. Orleans has tried it for several years on their,
So
town
we
meeting.
have sent, we did send the
Yeah.
special legislation to Hadley Luddy and Julian Sear. So we're just waiting. What they're basically waiting for, Dave, is for enough towns to ask for it so that the Massachusetts legislature will do a piece of legislation that allows us to do it, because it is not legal for us to ban those types of things. So basically, that's what we're waiting for.
Okay. Thank you. I
But
appreciate
we
it.
did
Yeah.
the first step,
Yes.
step one. Now, Bev.
Yeah.
Now, Bev.
Now we'll hear from the,
Now,
from
Bev.
the,
Yeah.
the better half, right?
Ooh.
So I am Beverly Hobbs,
Will you,
Move the
hold the
microphone
mic?
back.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave's wife. Um, and I'm the chair of the Council on Aging. So several years ago, the town gave us $25,000 to do a survey of what were the needs of our aging people. And I want to take an opportunity to provide a brief update on programs and services for our over 59 population. I will be sharing some of our recent program highlights. Joan Lockhart is going to provide an update on the changes in the statistics that we commissioned and as a result of that program, that study. And then Dorothy Barrett will give you information on the budget requests and what we want to do with the capital funds. So we've added some great programs recently, such as Nordic Walking, an LGBTQ program, a community knitter circle. We're starting a book club on Monday, and we have an 80-plus discussion group, a veterans group, and a series of talk on AI that have just been an incredible success. So additionally, we've added evening classes, and we're working to find the correct balance on the time and our offerings on that. It's kind of a tough balance for us right now. The evening classes at the COA are Tai Chi and a low-intensity interval training. And then we have some hours for health counseling, the insurance part of that. The library has been graciously offering mat Pilates on Mondays evenings and chair yoga and Zumba on Friday mornings. And the library is a more convenient location for a lot of people, and the parking lot is better lit in the evenings. So on November 13th, we're having the Board of the Council on Aging will be hosting a light luncheon so that we can further discuss with the seniors which programs and services they would like to see and what questions they might have so that we can find out what we can do to better serve them. And so then here is Joan Lockhart. Joan?
Thank you, Bev. So thanks again for the opportunity to share some of our progress since we commissioned that study back in 2022/23. We had a really high participation rate at the time, one of the highest ones UMass had ever had. And we polled soon-to-be seniors, existing seniors, and part-timers. I'm really proud to say that we've addressed almost everything that was in that report that was recommended by UMass Boston, with the exception of things we can address, like the high cost of living on the Cape, housing issues, access to medical care, and all those things that we know are still problems for not only our seniors, but the rest of us. But as a result of the study, we focused on increasing awareness of all the programs at the COA. Many people had never been there. And so through a really great newsletter that Dorothy puts together, we reach all of our seniors in town so that they know what's going on there. We've increased, we serve almost half of the town's over 59 population now, and that's up significantly. I think Dorothy's going to have those stats. The exercise programs, which they really recommended that we increase, we've had a fourfold increase in the number of programs that we offer. And I know some of you, Jerry attends some, and Bob has attended some, have brought in a younger group, a demographic, to the senior center. And we have a tremendous offering of classes. You know, Beverly mentioned some of them, but it's probably, Dorothy has the stats too, very, very popular, and really keeping our seniors aging well. Physical fitness is a big part of that. We have, through a $100,000 grant that Dorothy secured, we purchased new AV equipment for the center, and we're able to offer classes now to people who are homebound. So the hybrid program has really increased the reach of our programs to a newer and a broader group of our seniors. It's ended now, and we are looking to find funds to continue that not only bought equipment, but it helped fund a position. And we are looking for, in next year's budget, money to continue someone to run those programs. Thanks to the friends of the COA, who we couldn't do a ton of what we do without, they fund almost all of our programs. And we are able to offer free classes or really low-cost classes. And that's something that we don't know another town who does. And it's a tremendous benefit. I know it's not one of Jackie's favorites. But she's always thought they should have to pay a little bit. But it really has helped our seniors. You know, some of them couldn't afford to pay the $5 an exercise class and come a couple times a week. So it's really been a terrific program, and we can't thank them enough. Cost is a deterrent to some seniors. And so the fact that we have good rent at the thrift shop and they generate a lot of money for us is just a great benefit to the town. Isolation is a huge concern for seniors. And we have increased all of our socialization programs. We offer more lunches, we offer more meals delivered to people. As we mentioned, we started the LGBTQ plus group that is growing tremendously in popularity. We had a great Halloween party on Friday night. We had 40 people there, and it really has been a terrific program. And we, in addition to those programs, we've added arts and crafts classes, language classes, writing classes, gardening programs, intergenerational programs, and support programs for people dealing with caregiving issues, and a wide range of educational programs on topics, especially those important to seniors. Things like, wills and how to, Medicare, tax deferment, tax programs, and things like that. So, I mean, I'm really proud, or we're all proud of what the COA has accomplished with our outdated building, because it is a limited facility, because we don't have enough rooms to offer all the classes we'd really like to be able to offer. But fortunately, we found places. Dorothy's worked with the library to offer classes there, which helps. We have a really small staff, and we do a lot with that very small staff. But I think as we go forward, our population of people 59 and over is increasing. It's almost 60% now, and it's going to continue to grow. And I think we need to make sure that we're staffed to accommodate those levels, and be able to reach out to our most vulnerable people in town, especially our elderly seniors. So I hope you will take Dorothy's request for a couple part-time positions to heart, because I think we really need those to be able to continue to offer the kind of programs that we offer today as we go forward. And so now Dorothy's going to get into a little bit more detail on those programs. Thanks.
Thank you, Joan. Again, I'm Dorothy Burritt. So the Senior Center plays a vital role for our Eastham seniors. I just got the numbers from the town clerk, and right now we have 5,423 residents in town. And of those, 58%, or 3,142, are 59 and over. That is our mission at the Senior Center, 59 and over. The last fiscal year, we served 1,474 of them. It's about 46% of this population. As Beverly and Joan mentioned, demand for our programs has grown. We're seeing more seniors here. Our population is growing. To help meet this need, we did receive 2 grants. Joan mentioned the hybrid grant. We got $100,000 for that. Again, it covered equipment and staffing. And then we also received a $25,000 grant to support our senior services administrator, who mainly focuses on transportation. So we're asking the town to support these 2 part-time positions. Unfortunately, those 2 grants are not available anymore. We're looking for these 2 positions to continue to be funded for the fiscal year 2027 to expand what we're doing and continue the good work we've been doing. Just to kind of highlight, the senior services administrator assistant does mainly focus on transportation, but you have to remember that that person is also coordinating rides for social programs, exercise programs, meal delivery, food security. There's a lot of different facets to that transportation piece. It's really important, especially now with everything that's been happening with food security. I'm sure you guys have all heard about SNAP. So we're really focusing our efforts. It's a much broader picture than just a ride. So I just want to highlight that. And we're also, reducing social isolation. That delivery of a meal is a smiling face. It's a person, it's a connection. It's not just a meal that's coming their way. It's a way to kind of look at our seniors, see how they're doing, and really connect with them as well. The hybrid program position, as sort of highlighted a little bit, yes, we're reaching seniors at home that are socially isolated. We're staying connected. It's also allowing our part-time residents to experience what we're offering when they're not here. And we also have these available on YouTube. So all these programs are being recorded and people can watch them asynchronously. So there's a lot of facets to it. And I think we're reaching a broader audience and we're reaching a lot of people. So together, these positions really are increasing social engagement, independence, just overall well-being for our seniors. It's meals, it's social programs, it's exercise. And what we're hoping this is going to do is really overall wellness, right? Reduce calls to fire and rescue. We're getting them to their medical appointments. We're helping them with telehealth support. All these different things, as technology is growing, we were talking about the dumb meters and the smart meters, right? It's everywhere. And our seniors and our population really need this help and support. So I'm really urging you guys to consider continuing funding these 2 part-time positions for fiscal year 2027. And I also want to highlight that we're not only looking at staffing, but we're looking at the future of the building and the staffing. So I'm working with the DPW now. We had a nice meeting last week regarding our building. So we're looking at enhancing lighting. We're having these evening programs. We're talking about repaving, different parking, improving the parking lot. We're looking at senior-friendly ergonomic furniture, just making the whole senior center a little more friendly and safer. That's really our goal and priority. So I would also just like to thank the Friends and the town for your support. I think Joan mentioned that the Friends are funding a lot of different programs, and people are very, very thankful. And they are, if they can make a donation, they will, but people are really thankful for these programs and offerings. I've been there 14 years, and I have seen a tremendous increase in how many people are attending, the social connections that we're making between these folks. They come to a class and suddenly they have a group of people they're coming to lunch with. So it's a really nice thing that we're creating, and I think we're really supporting a lot of seniors. So I hope you guys will consider this. I'd like to share our newsletter with all of you. I'm sure some of you have seen it, but the new one just came out, so
Just
I'll
got
pass
it.
it around.
So Dorothy, do people have to sign up for the newsletter?
I got mine in the mail. Bob's got one.
Yes and no. So if people come in that aren't on our list, we automatically add them. Also, we use the town clerk's list, and anyone 59 over, we update and we add to them. So we're working on that. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of new people, so we're still updating as we speak. And I just welcome you guys to ask any questions or if you have any comments.
That's great. Did the last Tai Chi class that you had.
Awesome.
Most of it, anyway.
Yeah.
I
That's great.
think the classes are outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question. You said 2 part-time, you
Yes.
mentioned part-time positions.
Mhm.
So one is transportation and the other one supported the technology for the hybrid programming. And how many hours a week do
19 hours each a week.
each of them?
Yep.
And it's 2 people.
It's 2 people, yeah,
currently
2 part-time positions, yep.
Oh, yes, Bob.
So those were new hires, part-timers last year, funded by a grant?
Yes, both 2 different grants, yep.
And
And-
the grants were not recurring, right? They were one time? So was this sort of a trial period?
It was really to pilot out these 2 things and expand our transportation. The transportation is is growing so much, especially for the medical appointments. So we really saw a need to manage that, that we needed an actual another person to really be dedicated to that. And as a result, last year we did over 2,300 rides.
Dorothy, you can talk about, and I forget which one's which now, but the Friends helped out to continue one of those positions.
Yes, correct. So the Friends are supporting the hybrid for this year with the hope that the town will add it for the next fiscal year of 2027. So we were able to secure that position for another year. And the transportation, we do have some money left in our budget from this sort of morphed into a different role. So we're using that. And then we had discussed using the Human Services grant for the remainder of this year. So that's where we're funding. So we're kind of cobbling everything together for the remainder of this year.
Thank you.
Sure.
Right. Dorothy, is there a charge for transportation to medical facilities?
So we do charge a fee. It's not required. We have a scholarship through the Friends. So if somebody cannot afford to pay for a ride, we will never deny it. We're also working on, we used to have a program called Your Way Home, and we had some funding for that, and we were using Cape Cab. So if somebody was reluctant to go to a hospital, and go in the ambulance and go to the hospital, rescue would give them a card that said, "Don't worry, you call this number when you're discharged, and we will get a ride home." And the Friends and the fire union actually were supporting that and paying for that ride home for them. Unfortunately, Cape Cab went out of business. Right now, we're looking at alternate sources to continue that as well.
Okay.
Meaning, we have the funding, but we're looking for another company to pick that up. There's not a lot of cab companies, so we're in talks with other COAs to see if we can partner in any way.
All right.
I missed something. Was the hybrid the technology component?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
Do we have, how you, you're supporting it now through somebody who's.
through the Friends,
right.
yep.
Is that ever been a shared resource with other town buildings, for example, or infrastructure?
Meaning if anyone can zoom in and attend the program?
No, the support. I assume that this technical support was.
Yeah.
Technology support was probably an on-site position, but.
Right.
Could it be shared across multiple sites? Has that ever been done here?
Well, yes, John was doing some things for the town. Is
Yeah,
that,
we did try, the position initially, we had some evolutions here in Town Hall as well. with
Yeah,
our Media
yeah.
staff. But the long and the short of it is, it's a on-site position that requires
right.
on-site participation, and the
Right.
hours of our staff here are different enough because they cover nights and
Oh,
hours there
I
in the day.
understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So,
No, it's a very different position than,
similar skills as far as setting up the Zooms and YouTube and all that,
Yeah.
but the hours and the participation in the events is different than what we would have here.
absolutely, yeah. And they're also facilitating, they're taking charge of the programs themselves as well. So,
So they book the programs.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are the
they're helping support. Yeah, we work collaboratively, but it's a whole different.
But as far as the infrastructure, our town staff here
Mhm.
that does the media operations and sets up the room in the back and the cameras, assisted in implementing all the equipment
Yeah,
for this COA. So
yeah,
we do collaborate when we can.
In our IT department, so.
Exactly.
yeah. No, both departments were very instrumental in getting us up and running. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Awesome.
I have one question.
Will you come on up to a microphone, please? And state your name and
Brian Earle, 90 Sundown Lane. The parking lot seems to be kind of like you've got to drive across and then back, and it seems kind of burdensome on especially elderly. is there a plan for that, or that's actually my question.
So I just met with John Ruffley, the DPW director, last week, and that's something we did discuss in possible regrading and sort of creating different egresses and possible changes to that existing location. Nothing has been set in stone. I believe that John was, going to come to the town and talk about what possibilities are. But it's definitely, you're not the first person to ask it. We do realize we need to make some improvements and changes for sure. So I think initially, when we were looking at tea time, we kind of paused on some things, at the COA because we weren't sure what's happening, but now we're kind of re-looking and reevaluating our current space.
So as part of the capital budget process, big part of the capital budget plan is facility maintenance and repairs. And so I did talk to John, and I think that regrading of the upper lot is a thing that can happen. So he's more focused now on the immediate safety, uneven pavements, things like that. But just to refresh everybody's memory, because you'll be getting a budget update next month anyway, as part of our facilities plan, we had an engineering study done that looked at every town facility and kind of gave us a 20-year outlook of what it would cost to maintain all the components of those buildings that are expiring or reaching the end of their useful life in that 20-year period, which gave us a guide as to how much we should be setting aside. And so every year, for example, the COA gets $65,000 to meet that 20-year funding requirement, kind of a straight line thing. But of course, there's so much deferred maintenance that some of the things that might happen in the later part of that 20-year cycle really need to be addressed now. And so we have supplemental amounts. They got a supplemental amount last year of, I think, was 100,000, and this year it's scheduled to be 220,000. And the reason for those amounts are because every year as part of the capital budget process, I ask each department head, in this case Dorothy, to put down their priority projects, and then I ask the same of the facility staff at DPW to come up with what they think the buildings need. And I'm in the process now of kind of combining those and prioritizing them. And so we do have a 10 or 15 project list for the COA. Some projects are bigger than others. The paving and the sidewalks is going to be, the high ticket items, which is why we're asking for that money. And, hopefully it's sufficient. But obviously we can't do all the projects all at once, all in 1 year. So we try to prioritize them, schedule out the work. And if we need more money, we'll do what we can with the money we have and then consider requests for the future. So it's kind of the cycle on the capital side of things.
But the focus right now is really the safety issues that we're looking at. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Do you have any other comments on the COA?
Just thank you very much for having us here so we could discuss what was going on down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always good
so
to
much.
get an update. Yeah.
Congratulations. It's
Thank
been a
you.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a lot of statistics
Really?
if anyone cares.
Of course we care.
I know.
Another metrics person over there?
Yeah.
Huh?
Another metrics person?
Yeah. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank
to
you.
the
Thank you. Thank you.
board who came and to Christine.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready?
You
for-
guys don't need to feel compelled to stay.
Yeah.
I know it's riveting.
We do have an order of taking.
No.
My report is not next.
The report is not next. But if you would like.
I can give you a copy.
Yeah, take a copy.
Because it's hot off. Wasn't in the packet.
The 11th hour manager's report.
So we used to have something called top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and put it, get it on one page, it would be thrown back. Business correspondence is different.
Will you close that door? Preemptively. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah.
Good job.
My report is I'm so sorry.
It's such a good report. Okay, so we're gonna move on to order of taking 2845 State Highway, 2825 State Highway. This, we voted on at last town meeting, right?
Yes, and I'm going to ask you to put it off for 2 weeks
Oh.
until the 17th. I'm so sorry. But as I surmised, there are some deadlines that once you vote, we
Oh.
have to implement. So Rich and I just want to talk with council and make sure that we have all our ducks in a row so that we're ready once you vote.
Sure.
Is there, so I won't be here on the 17th. I won't be here on the 17th. Maybe Jamie won't be here. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
2 of you aren't, but 3
Okay.
of you are.
Is there?
I'll be there.
Be me and the boys.
That we could go over now and not vote, or was this mostly just to vote on it?
Yeah, this is just a simple, basically what we will ask you to vote on at the next meeting is to formally, legally take what was voted on at town meeting, and they've given the specific numbers that we're gonna offer the.
Okay. All right, well, Mary will be here anyway. Okay, we're going to go on to the committee appointment. Tom McNellis, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
So does anyone want to make a motion? My understanding is
Make a
that
motion to appoint Tom McNellis to the zoning task force for the rest of his life.
I'll
Right, yeah,
second
yeah,
that.
yeah, I said, yeah, I had,
It's
I'd
no,
love-
Yeah, it's an
Says for
undetermined.
life.
yeah, undetermined.
Jackie, would you like to briefly explain the intention behind that? Because even Mary was like,
Again?
well,
It's an evolving.
well, you mentioned it in our agenda setting and I
I'm
was
so
like,
sorry.
oh.
So we have a couple of committees that are special committees. They're appointed by the select board. They are not necessarily ongoing committees. They are not established by the charter. They are not established by anyone but the Board of Selectmen or the Select Board deciding that we have a problem that we want a committee to look at. In this case, it was zoning, and I believe it was 2019, 2020, maybe 2021. I can't remember, but we said we want to have them look at a certain list of things. And then luckily, we are so fortunate that Mary Nee and a group of extremely dedicated, very precise people decided that they wanted to spend time, effort, and energy, because without them, we would not have made the progress we've made towards changing our zoning bylaws for the better. And they've tackled at least 3 or 4 a year now for 3 consecutive years, I think.
Right.
Once their work is done, that committee will go away. So it's an indeterminate term, and only the select board really need to appoint this committee. So I think there was a lot of discussion about, does the search committee have to interview or not? And the truth is, under this particular committee, the search committee doesn't necessarily have to interview as long as the chairman and the select board agree that the candidate is a good candidate. We welcome them because we need them.
Which is why it says until
Death.
well, you could do
Hopefully
it.
it won't be that long.
I was going to say, tell Tommy he's getting a life sentence, but actually, it's for the duration might work, for the
Yes,
duration of the committee.
Yes.
told of us to assume that zoning has, we completed it. It's done.
Yes, it's
All right.
awesome.
So you had a motion in a second. Jerry,
Yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Other appointment, Robert Harnett, Community Preservation Committee, and that is from the Recreation Commission.
Oh.
Is that?
Yeah. Is that one for us to vote, or is that just informational?
It's just an information only because it is the appointment of, I think.
Yeah,
As
it's
a
a
representative from Recreation to
Recreation,
the
yeah.
CPC, he will be replacing Ed.
Ed.
And on that, Ed is going to be resigning from the Community Preservation Committee, and he was the representative from the Recreation Commission since 2011. Who's going to write that
I'll-
letter.
I'll write to him. I harass Ed often.
All
So
right.
I'll
And
write
Mary
him
had a
thank you
couple
note.
words.
Mary Shaw, 850 Schoolhouse Road, and I am Chair of the Community Preservation Committee. And Ed, as you noticed, has resigned, and we're really sad to hear that he is resigning. He's been a fantastic committee member on the committee. And I did ask him the other day how long he'd been on the committee, because he's been on there since I've been on there. And he wasn't sure, and he came back a couple of days later and said, I'm pretty sure it's 13 years. And I went this morning to the clerk's office, town clerk's office, and Linda checked all of their records, because their records are literally only going back to when they put everything on board. So she had to pull some stuff. And we found that he's been on the committee, he was on the committee up to this point for 16 years. So
Time flies when you're having fun.
yeah, right. We are a good committee. But, and I agree with Jerry, because I know at some point, people, somebody sends a letter to thank people. I don't know what the time period is. You have to be on so period, how many years before you get a letter, or?
No,
I don't know what the
No.
rules are.
anybody that serves.
Resign,
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, okay. So I just think that he needs to get a letter. So I don't know. I
Oh,
think
he-
Art was doing it
Oh,
before, so.
Yeah, no,
Are you the letter writer, Jerry?
He's the scribe.
I'm the letter writer. I
Okay, you're
will-
the letter writer. Okay,
Right.
so I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks very much.
thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
And we need to vote to approve Ed's.
So I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Ed Casarella from Community Preservation.
Second.
All right, Jerry,
A reluctant yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Bob,
Yes.
chair votes aye. All right, on to town manager search.
Want me to go over it?
Yeah, we have a memo in the packet and a timeline. And I guess is this our announcement of the plan to do an internal search?
If you are so inclined, yes.
Is it something we'll vote on?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess we've started this search right after town meeting, the board, and we started talking about it. The board hired Rick White, a consultant from Grew White Associates, this summer. And he's completed to date, he's spoken to all department heads and other selected employees. He has spoken to 17 or 18 members of the community that the board asked him to interview privately. And he's also written a position statement, and I say short and extended version, but there's kind of two versions in the packet for you to look at. Lori also included, Lori Barr, and hi, Lori. The key functions and skills of the municipal manager, an evaluation scoring matrix for you guys to look at, and a sample job posting if we go internal. If we do external, we would use the position statement, one of either the short form or the long form. So that's the summary to date. And I think the next phase of our process is to advertise the position. So it has come to decision time at this point, where we need to know from you what your decision is in terms of, are we going to go for an internal process and either accept or eliminate an internal candidate and then move on to a public process if that doesn't work? Or do you want to do the public process right from the gate? So we need to know now,
All right.
because we're ready.
Thoughts from the board on internal process?
My thought is start internal.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that that's step one.
Jerry?
Yeah, I agree. I think even if you want to go external eventually, you need to tell everyone whether or not you have an internal candidate. So I think we go internal first.
And I think the timeline that I tried to do will show you that I think we have enough time for either or both.
Yeah, I agree. I had one question, Jackie. I think on the timeline for the internal, you had a working together timeline, working together with the town manager if we happen to hire internal candidate for town manager, with the period of both together working ending sometime like in March or April.
March 31st.
March, yeah, and I was just wondering if you could
Are you
just
leaving?
explain that a little bit to me.
No, that is the coming up with the plan. What's the plan? What's the plan going to be for that time frame if we have an internal candidate? How are we going to manage it
Got you.
working together? Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not leaving March 31st, although if you want me to, I could
I-
pull up my date.
I didn't, I wasn't asking that. I was just wondering what it said on the piece of paper.
March 31st isn't really that compelling on the Cape, though.
No.
I'd rather
No.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like a vote from us on the option, on our option?
Yes.
All right, I would take a motion to proceed with an internal search first.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All right, Jerry,
Yes.
or was there any discussion? Sorry. No, we just had it. All right, Amy,
Aye.
Bob,
Yes.
chair votes.
Okay,
Aye.
so Lori and will proceed with
With
a
posting.
posting, and if we have now we have our outline here for our timeline, so we'll try and stay on that as much as possible. I know we're going into the holidays, so that adds a little bit of
And
time
if-
constraint.
And if people are interested in our packet, Jackie did just list all of those documents. They're in our
Packet.
if you're interested. And then do we need to do much with Rick's
Mr. White
Mr. White? This is
is
why we weren't
coming
gonna.
back next meeting
Mr.
to
White.
go over all of these documents with you.
Okay.
And I would suggest that we take a look, like, I don't know how much time Lori's had to look at the position summary. It's a long document, and while it's great, I think we could edit that down. So I would just read that ahead of your meeting with Rick, so that if we need him to make any changes, we can ask that and he can finish that piece of work for you, because that's his initial contract that you have with him ends after the position statement, and then you'd have to contract with him for another piece of work after that.
Okay.
I know it's a little out of order, but he couldn't come this meeting, so.
So-
Yes.
Just so next steps for us would be, I would think, selecting if there's a template to be selected, because there's a couple of options that were put forth in the packet.
Yeah,
So we would select a methodology for interviewing,
yep,
and then we would start the interviews in December.
yeah.
Okay.
And we'll start to have plans. So basically, once Lori does the posting, you want to talk a little bit about the process. Once she does the posting, she will have control of the process.
Gotcha.
Well, just more immediately, there is an internal job posting in your packet. And if you have any changes that you would like me to make to that before I post it, I'd be happy to take those. And other than that, I'd be looking for direction on, I can post it as soon as tomorrow, if that's your preference.
Might as well.
Yeah, why
in my
not?
view.
And it'll be posted for what, 2 weeks or?
2 weeks is usually the standard for an internal posting.
Yep.
I can go longer if you'd like.
There it is.
Uh,
It looks good. You
I-
could, I mean, if we're just gonna post it, we could add the short position statement too, if you want to. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but.
I think since it's an internal posting, it's very confusing to people if I use the online application.
Oh, yeah,
People
yeah.
outside think it's an internal, an external too. So I will just send the posting to all staff
Yep. Okay.
tomorrow
Perfect.
with the
Okay.
deadline, and applications will come directly to me. And then we'll see where we land 2 weeks from tomorrow.
You think 2 weeks is enough, Laura? I'm not saying no. I just want to make sure you're comfortable with 2 weeks.
I am. I feel you've been very transparent that this is happening. Jackie is retiring. We can't convince her
She is?
otherwise.
Can't talk about it.
Wait a minute,
more
wait a minute.
than I am right now.
I haven't seen a piece of paper saying that she's retiring.
No,
Oh.
no. And you won't, because I figured it out. I'm a sitting town manager, so I'm not gonna resign until the last minute.
Oh, not resign. I'm just the intention to resign.
There is no current
Her
vacancy.
contract just
Right.
runs out.
Yeah.
Well, her contract runs out in, look, at some point when we hire someone internally or externally, we need a paper from Jackie because she's got a contract that keeps going beyond
Yes, I
her
promise.
date. So she's
I
got,
have-
you have to cut it off so we don't have two contracts. That's all.
Okay. Although that's a great idea.
Yeah, I understand. That's a
On
great
her way
idea
out.
for you.
For gift to us.
Now, once you have started to negotiate with someone and you have a successful conclusion, I will resign as of a date certain in the future.
In the future,
And I think
right.
this is no surprise. Department heads, which, if people were going to be eligible, they're department head level or higher to apply for, if they're eligible to apply for the position. They've been interviewed about this
Already,
process anyway.
yes.
So
Yes, yeah.
they're aware and should have been preparing.
Okay, so do we need to take any more action on this item?
No, you voted, right?
Yep.
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 Oh,
Ready to go?
Look at us.
Moving right along.
Moving right along, we have town manager's report.
So, I'm sorry it's not in the packet. It will be added to the packet so that it'll be online for people. But I just wanted to hit some highlights. Our Lease to Locals program, we have our second participant and it looks like a third will be coming on soon. So that's, I know it seems slow, but for a town our size, I think that's magnificent progress. And, we have 3 new year-round rentals.
Yeah, that's
The
great.
goal, right? So good news, we received notice from Mass DOT that our Route 6 project has been approved by their project review committee, which is step 1. And step 1 means we actually get a DOT project number and we are now official. So it's pretty serious. We'll be meeting with the DOT this month to do the scope of work that is required to get to that 25% design. And, Rich and I will be talking about that during the budget process because we will have to set aside some funds for that over the next 2 years or so. I did mention Effie and the fabulous Flower Islands and thanking them for all they do for us because really it does take these ugly little, pieces of not much and turn them into very positive, happy gardens.
They were all so happy to have water on their islands.
I know, we got to get more water to the islands.
Just a question on that. The island off of Route 6, the intersection of Route 6 and Fort Hill.
Yeah.
Is that public? Is that owned by the town? Because I've been asked if they can expand
Don't
that.
know. That's a good question. It's probably the parks, but
The
I
one
don't-
by Mary Chase there, the before Fort Hill, like if you're coming from the south.
When you're coming from the south, you peel off to the right, but there's also that little
Yeah.
side road.
Yeah, I think that's
think
park.
it's the park, but we can check. Yeah,
That'd be great, because Frank asked me if they could start on that. I'm
okay,
trying to find out.
Wow.
awesome.
Great.
And then the other really good news we had, and Rich represented us with the department at the accreditation ceremony. Our Eastham Police Department has achieved state accreditation through the Mass Police Accreditation Commission, MPAC, which means that our program is at the highest standard for police departments across Massachusetts. We did have several site visits. They've been working on this, I want to say roughly 2 years it took. So anyway, we're very proud, and Adam is going to come and talk about what that means with you at one of your upcoming meetings. We're not sure whether it's the next one or the first meeting in December, but he'll be here to talk about that because it's really important.
Are we able to make that latest news post on the
Yeah,
website?
Sure. And we have been awarded the One Stop for Growth Award, and there is a ceremony. I haven't talked to Paul about whether he wants to go to the ceremony, but it's in Monson.
That's Western.
No, where,
That's far.
that's far.
So,
West-
yeah.
Monson's really far. Not even Worcester, it's past Worcester, right?
Past.
Um,
It's a little town.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
'cause I know
you know,
somebody
they
used to own a house in Eastham, lived out there.
around
Yeah.
the state when they do these
Right.
awards, but anyway, those are all the good news pieces.
Oh, and because I also forgot to say it at the beginning, I'm gonna remind everyone that
Okay.
there's community engagement sessions for the efficiency and regionalization study that we are undertaking jointly with the towns of Orleans, Brewster, Wellfleet, and us regarding the elementary school and middle school. And they have in-person sessions. One's tonight, so you're not doing these at the same time. The one that's at Eastham Elementary School is on Wednesday from 6 to 7:30. There will also be one at Orleans Elementary on the same date. And then you could go to the one on Thursday, the 6th at Stony Brook. And they're all 6 to 7:30. There's an online session for people who can't make it in person. And apparently there's also a survey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Well, the
Survey.
surveys for, you know,
For,
everybody who
yeah.
can't possibly make it.
Yes, so if you can't make it, there is a survey. And they
All
have
right.
a web page somewhere about it too.
on the Nauset. Is it on the Nauset Schools page or?
No, I have to look for it. I'll write a
No.
note to look for it.
Yeah,
I find the Nauset school page hard to navigate.
you.
yeah. If there's a way to put that somewhere easier to find, that would be
Well, I think we can post,
super.
we can make a post about the dates, especially the Eastham school dates, just to let people know if they want to show up.
Okay. Now, future items or comments?
Yeah, I just, one thing I wanted to just close up a discussion we had last meeting on the aquaculture,
Oh, yeah.
the grant that, yes, we did receive the receipt for seeds, and it was from a legitimate supplier and so forth, so that that grant, our 6 months extension is now working.
All right, and now I will take a motion. Oh, do you want?
Yeah, I just, on the upcoming stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just some of the things on the dates in May of next year are a little off. The
Oh.
town meeting is May 4th, but the town election isn't until the 16th or 19th. I
Are
believe.
you also counting down the days, Amy?
Possibly. So that would shift the, election and organization down to
Okay.
the, I guess, the,
June.
Yeah, the
to
election,
the June meeting, yeah.
the
Yeah.
election and the board reorganization are in the wrong spot.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Just
Yeah, I also saw January 7th. I don't think that's a Monday. Is it?
I think so. The first is Tuesday.
Maybe I was looking at the wrong one. No, January 7th,
Oh.
Wednesday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
the
usually we
fifth.
reorganize the first day after the election, and the election is the second Tuesday after town.
Right.
He meant for our next meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Coming
sorry.
up, that's
The
okay. We jumped.
January,
January 7th, it will be January 5th.
should be January 5th.
Yeah.
Right.
And the 19th is the holiday, so that screws things up. So she does have the 26th, correct? 26th is correct.
Yes.
Oh, Hillary.
That's the 18th. Okay. So with that being said, I will take a motion to adjourn to executive session, not to return to open session pursuant to MGL 30A 21A2, maybe I butchered that, and A3 to discuss collective bargaining strategy, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body.
Happy to do that at some point, but minutes, should we do minutes? October 20th?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of Monday, October 20th.
Second.
Jerry,
Yeah. Yes.
yes to the minutes.
Aye.
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved.
Now I will move the motion for executive session.
I'll second that.
Awesome. Jerry, how
Yes.
do you vote?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
And the chair votes aye. And Jerry, you're gonna
Have to wait a minute.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm going to, no, not, wait a minute. Rich has given me another Zoom connection, and I will say adios and try and hook up again. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Hasta la vista.
Bye-bye.